Hi folks, it's Andy. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. So here we are for another episode of Kendo Video Feedback. In these videos, you fantastic viewers send me a video of your Kendo. We watch it together. I give you some feedback and hopefully everybody benefits. Now, as I always say, I don't want any of those negative comments down there, any of that sort of, silly stuff. Nobody ever does it, but, if you do, I'll just delete it anyway, so don't bother. If you think you can do better, send us a video yourself and we'll be the judge of that. Thank you very much to the wonderful people that send these videos in to us. For everyone, it's very brave of you to do so. We're looking at a shiai video today. We'll get to it in just a minute. Before we do, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And most importantly, support the channel by shopping at KendoStar.com. It's the best Kendo equipment website in the galaxy, in the universe, in the solar system, in all of existence and the history of mankind. Of course, I would say that because I own the place, but everybody agrees with me. We're the highest rated on Trustpilot and all that sort of thing. Everyone in dojo is probably already using KendoStar anyway, and if they're not, they should be. So get to KendoStar.com, okay? And everyone's a winner. Okay, so let's have a look at this video. It's only a short one today. We've just got one clip, one video, one shiai, so we won't be with you very long today, but let's get to it. We are looking at the competitor on the left-hand side here in red. I'm not sure of their ability or the grade or the level of this tournament or anything like that, but we'll take it at face value and we'll go with what we see, okay? Let's have a look. Okay, first thing I'm going to pick up on is on this entering the shijo. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is fine, but you see you're a little bit too far away from the line first of all. All right, when you enter the shijo, enter to a point that you can make this line, this kaishisen, in 3 steps. All right, so you don't have to just take 1 step into the shijo. It's a common misnomer that when you enter the shijo, you're only allowed to take 1 step. That's not the case. You step into the shijo as far as you need to get to that line in your 3 steps. All right, so don't sell yourself short and just take a small step in the first place. Secondly, 2, 3, you want to draw the shinai on the 3rd step. Okay, whereas you've made the 3rd step and then you've drawn the shinai. All right, so I want you to do it together. This is actually a kind of kikentai no ichi in a way. So you draw the shinai as you make the 3rd step. Okay. Good kamae. I like your kamae, it's good. Okay, so I want you to work on your asabaki, your footwork a little bit, because your movement's quite good. But you're sort of lacking a little bit of control of your momentum. So you have to explode and hit forward, bam. Yeah, you have to do that. That's really important. But when it doesn't go the way you plan, you need to be able to be in control of your momentum and your body weight. Whereas at the minute, you're sort of not. So you end up in this sort of situation where you're like, oh, okay, I need to sort of readjust. This bouncing is you sort of readjusting your footwork. It's not great to do that for a start. And here, there's this sort of, lack of control of the momentum that you've used to launch yourself forward. So you end up in this sort of weird place where you're not sure if you should defend yourself, attack, or what, and you're not able to properly do either. Good use of distance, though. You're controlling your distance well. Okay, so couple of things here. First off, your kamae is not, you're not in a position to strike immediately from your kamae. You need to do a little bit of preparation before you do, and that's what your step in is here. We sometimes confuse with this with the word seme, but it's not seme, all right? It's a telegraph. See here, it's hard to see because the shimpan is just stood in front of your feet, but I don't need to see it. I can see what's happening from what's happening with the shinai. Your shinai can see what's happening with your feet. So what's happening here is you're taking a step in. It's like, okay, I'm gonna hit him. So, okay, let's go. And then you're taking a step in. And what that is your left foot's not ready to launch you. So what you're having to do is take a step in with your left so that you can get forward. And as you're doing that, you're pressing down with the shinai. And the whole thing is a big broadcast to your partner saying, I'm going to hit now. And that's why you're unable to be successful. Yeah, because he's obviously going to block you straight away. Yeah. So what you need to be able to do is from your kamae position, without doing that, bam, just hit. Okay, it's not easy. It's very easy to say, very difficult to do. Like this, you see. Now, and because of that, obviously they're planning to do the kaishido, but luckily they weren't able to make the ippon with it, but it did leave you a little bit at risk. Okay, and then the problem as well is after you made the strike here, this is not zanshin. Okay, this is not zanshin. Your focus, your attention is away from your partner. Okay, your partner's gone. Yeah, so you've lost them from your field, not just your field of view, but your sphere of concentration, if that makes sense. Yeah, so if you've got to always be fixed on what's going on with them. You've got to always be thinking about where they are, what's going on. Whereas here, you're only sort of concentrating on your own movements, and that's super dangerous, and it's not zanshin. Okay. Okay, so I can see from your kamae itself that the kamae overall is okay, but the use of your left leg isn't quite there. It's not backing you up. It's not doing its job. So that's why it's sort of up and down. And times like this, it's hitting the floor. This is why you're having to do that preparation before you jump into strike. Yeah. This is an okay opportunity. Okay, opportunity, but just not quite accurate. Okay, but it was a good opportunity. Okay, so your left foot is moving too much. You don't want to be static. You don't want to plant your feet, but your left foot doesn't want to be sort of this sort of, you know, how can I say, it's kind of like too relaxed. So your footwork has to be light and relaxed, but your left foot has to be ready to launch you at any point whenever you need to go. But yours isn't. It's not locked in, and it's only switching on when you're deciding to hit, and that's giving your partner a sort of split second to respond to you. Okay, good there. Good that you're sort of responding to your opponent. But the problem is here, yeah, I see what's happened here. So you sort of was hoping they were going to come for kote, thinking you've gone for that kote nuki men. The problem with kote nuki men is this is the problem with the waza itself. It's very, very difficult to get correct if your seme isn't quite there, because he's caught you at a slightly off timing, so his kote is actually made to strike with you. Okay, so in this case, you know, part of the problem is you got far too close. So at the moment you thought you had to go, you had to jump back slightly, so it became a two-step technique, 1, 2, and he's hit you on the 1. Do you see what I mean? So you want to be applying that semi from a little bit further away, but not just that. I think going into semi and stuff like that is probably a little bit too far into it at this point. I'd probably just look at, I think, you know, I can see that you were trying to create an opportunity there for Ojiwaza, which is good. It is. But the problem is it's happened at a timing that hasn't really worked for you, and your strategy for dealing with it hasn't worked out either. You don't want to jump back and then back in. That's not really a good way to go with it. You're better off with doing something like suriage or kote kaishimen in this case. And then you, at least you're going to be guarded from the kote. But if you sort of jump back and lift your hands and they're that little bit closer than you were expecting, this is what's going to happen. Strategy-wise, it was sound. Strategy-wise, it was sound. Good kiai. Okay, so at this point, right, it doesn't seem like you're looking to make an attack. So you're going to really struggle to create an opportunity. I'm not saying you should fly in there and attack loads. That isn't necessarily what you need to do either. But at the moment, since we started again, it doesn't look like you're trying to create an opportunity. It looks like the opposite of what happened just happened, in that it looks like you've scored a point and now you don't really need to risk anything to get another one. But it's the opposite. Okay, you're a point down. You have to get something. So you don't want to waste time on the clock. And, you know, there's no, you know, I can't see like enough activity from you in order to, you know, look like you're trying to make the strike. Yeah, it looks almost like you're waiting for them to come to you, waiting for something to happen. And that isn't going to work out for you, as we just saw. And that's a bit more. So more like this, yeah. But as I said, yeah, this is good. But because you weren't able to make a strike immediately, you had to prepare your feet first. Here, this is what made this technique fail. You see, where you had to, you've already had the isoku ito here. You don't need to, you know, if you can't reach from here, then you need to take another step in or something before you make the strike, but not as you make the strike. Yeah, but because you bring the left foot up here, this is exactly what I was talking about before. He knows now that you're coming for the men, all right? And okay, fortunately, his kaishido waza isn't really up to making the Yuko Datotsu, but he is hitting you, and he is hitting at the good opportunity. So it's a dangerous point here, all right? So what you really needed to do was, you see, there's a good point here. You watch this. Here, you shouldn't come back after this, okay? If you'd hit Men Okote from here, you'd have probably had a good chance of hitting it. And it certainly wouldn't have been able to do the Kaishiwaza, okay? But because you sort of went back, hesitated a bit, and then 1, 2, 3 for your men, it became a little bit readable, yeah? Yeah, so in, out, and then 1, 2, 3. It's not what you want to do. I want you to avoid that. This is men, yeah. Okay, yeah. So here, what's happened there is because you kind of come in, out, in, out. Later on, that can be a useful technique, like kind of sasoi, hikibana it's called, but that's not quite what's happening here. I think this is where we've got the sort of situation here, and you can see how he started to go first. This isn't about who's faster. It's about who made the decision first. Okay, so he made the decision first, and part of the problem here as well is your kentai no ichi is out of sync. Okay, so it's, you know, it's not really possible for your men strike to be valid. Watch it again. Yeah, So your kentai no ichi is out of sync as well. So you're unable to launch properly. You're unable to do proper fumikomi and unable to get to get that ippon. Yeah, we'll see it one more time. So your shinai hasn't landed yet, but your foot's down. It should be the opposite. Your opponent is a sort of example for you here in that the shinai makes connection slightly before the foot, and this is only in very slowed down, slow motion. Of course, in general, you know it happens at a similar time, but it's not foot shinai, which is what's happening with in your case. Okay. So it's a good match though. I don't think it was you know, I don't think it was like one-sided or anything like that. It was a pretty equal match. I think the things to remember is just making sure that your left leg is ready to launch you straight away, so you don't need to make that preparation before you go, because that's what's giving it away for you. Okay. And then secondly, if you're going to do that sort of ojuazu, you don't want to jump back as you do it. All right, because you're giving them that space, you're giving them that extra time to hit you. All right, but thank you very much for sending it in. I think you did super well. I definitely encourage you to keep trying, keep doing some more matches. I think a lot of this is just down to experience. The more experience you get, the more things will improve. Things like your attention towards the opponent, stuff like that. That's definitely something that's going to get fixed with more experience. Okay, so thank you very much for sending the video. I really do encourage you to keep at it, and thank you everyone else for watching. I hope you found it useful as well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, shop at KendoStar, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.